Hi, hello everyone, and welcome to this video. So last time basically we left off with our ball and collisions, and now it's somewhere off the screen. I don't know how. Actually, it can go from the left to the right. Anyway, it's not super important. What's important in this video? We're going to do split screen. So how are we going to do it? Well, it's kind of simple. We're just going to set up two cameras, and then one camera is going to, well, basically we're going to do horizontal split screen. One camera is going to be up and go to the half of the screen, and the other down and then half of the screen. So we can start with it. It's rather simple. So we're just going to have to use viewport and scissors. And what that does, viewport, we already had, maybe, no, we didn't have it because by default it kind of works. But we're just going to define it to be half of our game height, and then we're going to do the same for scissors. For scissor, what scissor works is basically it kind of, you can scissor out regions of the screen where you want to draw. So we're going to draw top and bottom half. So that's how we're going to do it. So let's get started. First of all, we just have to discuss something. How are we going to orient our camera? So basically we had this space, right? Y was here and X was here, right? And then we had negative Y, and then we had Z, and our game was set, it was set up like that, right? But if we wanna rotate it, so what we're going to have to set for our camera and our up, so basically up was here, but if I start the game and show it here, so basically X goes here, Y goes here, but what's important is this, right? The Z goes here, and then negative Z goes here. If we want, and we want to place cameras here and here, so we're just going to have to switch up coordinate, right? Because the floor is goes towards positive Z, so we're just going to set up to be negative Z for that camera. So we clear it out, so just so that you know that, and that's going to fix our rotation. So here, what I'm going to do is the following. So basically we're going to need a new camera. So splits, I'm just going to say player one camera, or maybe better yet, split screen player one camera is type camera, and then new, and then we're going to do for the second one as well. So nothing spectacular here, very simple. Then we need to initialize it, and we had this here, so I'm just going to give it a bit of a space so that it's easier to do, and then we're going to copy this twice, and then I can just do this. Very lazy approach, but it works. Not this one, this one. So when you do lazy approach, you have to be extra careful. So we're going to say 2 to 2. For now we're not going to worry about 2, I just wanted to initialize it while I made it. And then what did I mention? So our split screen player one camera, so we're going to move up somewhere else, and here, let me see what we have here. So up is, well, needs to be var, and we can make it public, so just so that we can change it. We're going to say cd float g, what did I mention, 0 0 and -1 is going to be up. We have to do that for second one as well, and then I just need to call update on them. Let's do it like this. Update, and then update. Good. Further, we can just paste it somewhere here, so just that we see what we work with. Where did I mention it? Here's shadow camera. So I'm just going to copy this method for now, and I'm just going to say split screen scene pass. That's alright. So it's very similar. So I'm just going to say camera. I gave it a weird name, so now I cannot remember it at all. Split screen player one camera. Okay. So let's just paste it here, here, here instead of camera. And if I try to run it, hopefully we're going to see something. I don't see anything. Oh, here we go. Yes, open anyway. Okay. It's a bit weird. Alright, let's try to figure out. Maybe I just haven't placed something correctly. Split screen. Ah, of course. I created it, but I never called it. That doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to comment it out. Shadow pass is good. So we had view and then command buffer. And also I forgot. So we have to move those cameras somewhere left of the pedals and right of the pedals. So this can go towards the left. So position, I kind of want it to be at 0. Why? Z is 0. I think it might be fine. Let's say -14, something like that. And Z maybe. Let's try with 0. Let's just see what we're going to get first. Okay, we are right behind the pedal, so that's not good. We want to be a bit above the pedal, so we kind of want to go in negative Z a bit. So I'm just going to say maybe -3, and maybe 16 is better. Let's try that. And Y I think is good. Oh, wrong, my bad. Z is -3, and here it can be 0. And if that's good, we're just going to set up second one like that as well. And there we go. Okay, this is kind of good. I'm happy with it. And here we have some color issues, but that's quite alright. We can fix that as part of the fixes. Then we can say here, then it's fine if it's 16 and 3. So going further, we can start just by saying, okay, this one can go to the top half. Actually, not this one, rather this one, split screen pass. So what do we need to do? We can just say render pass encoder. Then we can just set viewport, and we can create a viewport. So it's going to be var, because I'm just going to reuse that instance. So we can say viewport mtl viewport. So what do we need here? So we're going to need var width, which is going to be gain constants gain width, and then var height. Okay, we have our viewport. So what do we want to have here? 0, 0. First of all, that's position. So x and y is 0. That's fine. We have width, and then we're going to have actually half height over 2.0. And let's try to pass that viewport. I'm gonna go off int, so we can say 0.0, 0.0. We can say here double. I think it takes double, so we can just cast everything to double. And let's see if it works now. Aha, this one needs to be. Okay. it's missing arguments, so we have to pass arguments in. That's quite alright. Let's do it quickly and then we're good. Right. Maybe I can zoom in a bit, so it's just so that it's easier to see. We have x, y with height, and then we have viewport, and it also has two additional arguments. It has z near, and that one is 0. We can place it at 0, and then we have z far. I'm just going to use 100. That's fine, and I think these are called x origin and y origin, my bad. Origin x, origin x. Let's try now. What now? Oh boy. Here it's comma. All right. I think we're good. So let's just try it. And here we have something. This is a bit weird, but it's probably because we set up viewport. Let's try to just set up scissors as well. Maybe then we're going to be at better position. So we can set up scissors as well. Var scissors and tell scissor rect. So here it's a bit simpler. This one is actual rect. So it's going to have x, and here we have integers. So we don't need to worry about doubles. Width is width. And then we have height, which is height over 2. And then we can say encoder set scissor, and we can just set scissor. And if I try to run it now, let's see what do we get. Something is a bit off, but I think it might be just the aspect ratio. So let's figure that one out as well. As you remember before, and that was my oversight in the camera, we had here, we were actually calculating aspect ratio. So now we just want to pass it in. So we can say here aspect ratio is of type float, nullable float, and then we can say nil. And if we do have aspect ratio, if aspect ratio is not nil, we want to do one thing, else we're good here. I can leave it as is. So here I'm just going to do this instead of this thing here. We can just say aspect ratio. So float must be unwrapped. That's all right. So we can just do this instead and pass aspect ratio in, and then here we're just going to get that aspect ratio. So somewhere where we created our camera now, which is here. I'm just going to do this. Let's split screen aspect ratio. So here I'm just going to do, I think it needs to be float, gain constants, gain width, and then over float constants, gain height. And then we can pass it to our camera. This one here, this one here. And let's try it now. I think we're now, it's going to be a bit better. Actually it's still not. So I'm going to have to figure that one out, and then we're going to continue. Okay, my bad, I was thinking of viewport Z-far and Z-near as a camera, and that doesn't make sense. So by default we just want to have Z-far at 1. So that's default metal space, and we just use 0 and 1 here, and then it's good. So we just have to set up our second player now as well, and that's very easy. So we're just going to have to modify viewport a bit and then set up this again, and then call this as well second time. So we can just copy paste, and then I'm just going to do this. So we're just going to keep viewport, but for this viewport I just want to say, okay, origin Y is what it's at our double height, right, over 2, and then same, we do the same for scissor dot y is height, and here it's integer, and then we just pass to here because it's second camera, and let's try to run it. There we go, we have split screen. There are some oddities with the ball, but I'm going to fix that in a cleanup video, or maybe I'm just going to leave it. You can fix it as well. I think it's just as it's passing through lights, it has that kind of effect. But let's just recap this real quick, and then we're done with this video. So basically what we did is we set up our viewport to be of this size, right? This is the whole viewport, which is, I think it's 702. But what we did is first we set up the first viewport at position 0, 0, right? And then we said, okay, go to width, which is full width always, and go to half height, so height over 2. And then we did this viewport, but also we set up this as a scissor region. So you can, maybe we could even skip that scissor region, it's not that important because it's clear on what half do we draw, but I left it regardless. And scissor regions, okay, says, okay, this region is now drawable, and whatever it's drawn, it's just going to be showing this region, but not here. And the second part was just we used this 0 and we moved origin Y to height over 2, right? And we kept this height, and then we were just drawing this part. And that's very clear. It was very easy to do, not hard at all. The drawback always when you have split screen is you kind of have to render everything twice, but at the same time you can render to smaller buffer. And with that said, that's it for this video. It was a very quick one, and you can play with it. You can try to improve the game, and I think that's it from this series. I might do cleanup video, might not, might just push the code, we'll see. But if you like this video, please like, subscribe, maybe leave a comment, and until next time.